So, what happens when you are in love, you're engaged, and all seems well in the world? But then a global lockdown happens, and then you get trapped with your ex in your house. You know, that ex that you can never get over, that ex that seems like the one that got away. That's exactly what love lockdown did to us. It brought us very sizzling, steamy, emotional, and overall dramatic movie. And I ate it up, guys. I was here for it. I was here for it. Now, did it live up to the hype, or was it just another movie? Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Noelum, and on here I like to recommend movies for you to watch, books for you to read, and every other thing I get in between. So if you like the vibe, do consider subscribing. But if you're an oldie, you know the drill. Welcome back. Now, today I'm talking about Love Lockdown, a Nigerian romance movie that had me giggling at the cinema, side eyeing, and questioning my life decisions, to be honest. And before we dive right in, spoiler alert. Yes, I will be spilling details about this movie. So if you know you are yet to see it and you still want to see it at the cinemas, this is your cue to please leave my video or just skip to the part where I give you my like overall rating of the movie so that you can decide whether you want to watch it or not. And so let's get into the gist of this movie. Right. Now that housekeeping is out of the way, let's get into the plot of this movie. So we start off with our main couple, Zainab and Yemi. They are engaged, they are in love, they are all good feels, to be honest. Zainab is about to go to some fancy island because she has a bridal shower for a week there. And Yomi is supposed to stay at home in Lagos and wait for his bride to be. Pretty simple, right? Wrong. Because the moment she leaves, Wahala enters the group chat. Yemi, played by my Nollywood crush. Yes, I have a crush on this guy. I have a crush on him. He looks like candy that I want to eat up. He's just a fine man. He's just a fine man, I beg. He receives a call from this mystery woman who is his ex, Taylor. Taylor is his mystery ex who came to Lagos for a job interview and wants to catch up, And like the faithful fiance that Yemi is, what does he do? He agrees to meet her up for dinner. And boy, from the second they see each other, they start sit down. Me, I just knew that we have entered serious wahala because Taylor is over here talking about going down memory lane, how her mother likes him, how this one, how that one. You could tell that there was history there. And Yomi, on the other hand, is busy there smiling like a confused lover boy. And I'm like, are you not supposed to have a fiance? She now goes to proceed to tell him that, you know what, I still have some few minutes before my flight. We can just go to your house and, do. Organa drops the bombshell that he's engaged, that he has a whole fiance, and you can literally see Taylor's like eyes, like her world flat, as in fall flat. You can literally see Taylor heartbreak in her eyes, like she was really heartbroken. She was crying, as in I felt her heartbreak in my spirit, to be honest. And then she was like, you know what? I just want to leave here. I just want to get out of here. I was like, okay, let me take you to the airport so you can catch your flight. And then boom, on the radio, lockdown. Flights are cancelled. Hotels are fully booked. And guess what? Taylor has nowhere to stay. And then our Mr. Faithful Fiance suggests that she stays over at his house, like his house with his ex during lockdown. Recipe for disaster. When I say messy, and messiest, it is going to be so messy. So at first, Yemi tries to do the right thing, tries to tell his girlfriend Zainab that his ex is in his house, but for some reason it never comes up. Like something always trumps that information. And he was like, you know what? It's best that I don't even tell her that you're here. And for the first couple of days that she stays, you see him try to keep himself together. He steals glances here and there, but he's like, I have a fiance. In fact, there was a time when he had to run upstairs and take a cold bath. He's trying to respect the fact that he has a fiance, but you can obviously tell that there's history between him and this girl. You can obviously tell that there's unfinished business. You can obviously tell that Yomi likes this babe. He makes up the decision that, oh, he's going to tell Zainab, because they always talk to each other, while she was at the beach. And then she tells him one day like this, that, oh, that a group of guys are here, and some of them are jokingly calling one of the guys her island husband. And this dude is actually jealous. This one has a whole ex living in the house with him. He's actually jealous of this thing, and he was like, it's not riding like that she should stop it and everything. I was just like, the goal of this guy is to be jealous when he has his whole ex living in his house with him without his fiance knowing. Anyway, things take a whole dramatic turn when Yemi calls Zainab one day and a man picks up and was like, she's busy, she's gonna call you back later. My guy was angry. He was calling her like a madman. He was angry. He goes down to Taylor. He was telling her how he cannot believe that Zainab would betray him like this, that he's done with that. He's done with that. I'm done with that. He's done with her. He's done with this. That how can he be throwing away his dream? He's pointing at Taylor at this point for this. That let them go back to planning their life together. Blah 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 blah. And then Taylor is like, I'm not about to be your rebound girl. You are emotional, you are all over in the place, and you're irrational, you're not thinking straight. You know what? Sleep on it. And if you still feel the same way tomorrow, then we can have this conversation. And of course, the next day he chooses Taylor and says Zainab should get out of the park. And then because he cannot reach Zainab and she doesn't call him back, and he was like, she should get lost for all we know. And when I tell you that things just turned to pure chaos from this point, because um him and Taylor, he tells Taylor that she's the one for him and that he has thought about it so much. And she's obviously very happy because this is a man that she loves, this is the man that she wanted to spend the rest of her life with, and she has been planning to. So she was so happy to hear him say, she was like, oh my God, baby, I'm so happy that you chose us, and blah, 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 blah. And when I tell you that these three individuals started singing up and down the place, they were singing left, right, and center. They turned to full blown honeymoon phase. When I tell you that there was intense passion, steamy nights, steamy. Like it was like they couldn't get their hands off each other. It was like, oh, they were waiting for this. They were just all over each other. Like they were in full blown honeymoon phase. And everything, well, you could just see that Taylor was living her dream, and they were like, oh, we're about to, all is well in the world. They're just there living in their la la land. Only for Zainab to come and bust their bubble. Zainab now finally calls and she was like, oh babe, I didn't cheat on you, I've been trying to call you. She now explained to him that, oh, the guy just picked her phone and picked her call, and when she saw, because she was dancing, and when she saw the guy, she rushed to collect the phone from him, and in their tussle, her phone falls into the water. He was like, yeah. He was like, I'm not believing you. So like, seriously, that she had to soak her phone in rice, that she has been trying to reach you. Like, so none of your friends that you went to have my number. I said, babe, they don't have your number. I even tried my best. I even, on the day that it happened, she sent him a message on Instagram using her friend's Instagram that he should check. And Taylor is sitting just beside him, and she's hearing all this, and she's seeing the man of her dreams, the love of her life. Finally, as in, he's getting to the realization that, oh my, I don't fuck up. Like you can see it, and then she stands up and she leaves, and then he looks at her, but he continues talking to Zainab. And Zainab was like, "Babe, I will never do that. I will never do that to you. I'm yours. I'm yours." Oh, very sweet and loving. But in the cinema at this point, everybody was like, oh my, men will stain your white. Men will stain your white. Men will stain your white. Get focus. She was like, baby, I will never cheat on you. I will never do that. I'm yours. I'm yours. And then he was just there doing like, oh my God, I don't fuck up. That's the moment he realized that he fucked up. They spoke to each other. She was like, I will give you a chance to explain if I was in your shoes and all that jazz. And obviously, he picks Zainab again. And at this point, I'm just like, what sort of confused guy is this? At this point, I'm just like, oh my God, this guy just too confused. What the heck? Taylor is heartbroken a second time because he picks Zainab over her. And he was trying to have a conversation with her. She was like, "You're a coward. Why don't you just tell her how you feel about us?" Like, she said she was already willing to let them go, and then he comes back, telling no, telling her that he loves her, he chooses her, and then now again he's now going back to Zainab. That what's he doing? Blah blah blah. She tried to have a conversation with him, and then there was even a scene where she kept comes to tell him that the embassy called and she'll be leaving to the UK soon, and they were in the kitchen, so she was trying to dish food. He was on the phone with Zainab, and the spoon fell, I think, and hit her, and she was like, "Ow!" And Zainab was like, "Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who is the I can hear a voice." That was when he now finally tells Zainab that Taylor, the ex, is in his house. Obviously, she doesn't find it funny. When Taylor was leaving, she pulls him aside and she was like, "I just want to say something. I want you to choose us. I want you to pick us." So like she wanted him to pick them, that she feels like he's making a mistake, that he should please choose her, he should pick her, that they just work. He's the love of her life, she's the love of his life, she knows that he loves her. Why can't he pick her? All those talk. And he was like, Zainab didn't do anything to him. Like, Zainab is a good girl. Like, it's Zainab that he wants. It's Zainab that he wants to marry, and not Taylor. Hey, God. I felt for that girl. I'm telling you, I felt for that girl. I felt for her very well. And then she carried herself and went back to the UK. And Zainab came back home. And then when Zainab comes back, we see this scene where she's irritated by everywhere because she knew Taylor was here. And then the next scene, we see her packing her bags to leave his house. And then him giving her back, because when he proposed to her, she gave him a Rolex watch. So he was trying to give her the Rolex watch back, and she was like, he was trying to talk to her, and she was like, "I don't want to hate you, Yemi. Just leave me." So me, I'm thinking that, oh, they broke up because he finally told her that he slept with Taylor, right? Wrong. Because when they start to give us like backstory of like how as she was going, apparently they have differences in values and differences in core values, because it turns out Zainab doesn't want kids, but he wants kids. We hear him talk about this with Taylor in the movie. It turns out that he's seen a different side of Zainab that she never thought she has, how superficial and materialistic she is, for lack of a better word. So we now see him unravel this and like, "Oh, I don't know this part of you. I don't know this part of you. I don't know that." I'm like, so how are you going to marry her if you didn't, you guys not have all this discussion before? And then you now see them have that conversation where he's like, "You know what, we're not on the same frequency, and if we get married it would be a mistake and all that," and they break up. And this man had the guts now call our Taylor. He had the guts now call our Taylor. Now call Taylor and was talking about how, guess what, Tay? Um Zainab and I have broken up, and so he was like, "Zainab and I have broken up." And Tay was like, "Oh, sorry about that, blah blah blah." And then he goes, "The job in Lagos, is the offer still on the table?" I said, "Look at this madman. Look at this madman." I said, when they say men will stay in your wife, I said everybody in the cinema will say, "Hey," even men will say, "Hey, men will stay in your wife." So it's not like she now has this pause. We have this little pause. Tension one kill us for the cinema. We have this little pause where we're like, "Hey God, we should say yes." This girl, people are like, "Ah, this girl, tell him no, tell him no." And she was like, "I'm so sorry, it's too late." When I tell you that everybody was screaming, yeah! It was so funny. I enjoyed watching this movie. I enjoyed it. It was screaming, yes. She was like, "It's too late. That it's too late." He was not begging her that he's sorry, that he made a mistake. And she tells him, "Yeah, that's your mistake to bear." Everybody was like, "Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am." And then he was crying, and then we see him now start to make decisions to fight for Taylor. Basically, he sells his company, packs his whole load, and goes to the UK to do like a whole grand gesture, telling her that he's gonna show up at her doorstep every day until she takes him back. Hey God, I go love, see love. Anywho, Taylor ends up taking him back. That's how the movie ends. But I'm here for it. I enjoyed this movie. Can you tell that I enjoyed it? I'm smiling. I'm just remembering it and I'm just smiling. I really enjoyed this movie. So let me tell you my overall thought. This movie was a roller coaster. Listen, Love Lockdown was messy, but I loved every second of it. And it's not your typical romance story. It's not your typical love story. It's very unconventional. I mean, every romance story has the guy being the hero or whatever. You mean the hero, but yeah, I mean, this story is not a hero. He's very indecisive. He's very frustrating. He's not even. He's a cheater. He cheated on Zainab with Taylor. Like, this story is not your straightforward love conventional story. It's not your romance story, but it worked because it was realistic. Because let's face it, there are some people who get confused about like their love decisions. They get confused and they make wrong decisions. But does that make them unworthy of love? No. You are not a bad person, because I don't think Yemi in this story was a bad person. I don't see him like a bad person. He was just somebody who made bad choices. And at the end of the day, doesn't he still deserve love? He does. Is it the kind of love that we expected of him? Of course not. But he still deserved love nonetheless. What he did to Taylor was a terrible thing, but he learned from it and he tried to make amends. And I guess everybody deserves that. And so I loved this movie. It was realistic. It was very realistic to me. And let me be honest, a lot of people like me ate this movie in real life. Like in the cinemas when I was watching it, everybody was happy. They were happy with the ending. They loved the ending. Even after we were telling her, don't take him back. When she took him back, all of us were like, oh, it was really nice. The acting in this movie was top notch, top filler, the chemistry, steamy, the cinematography, chef kiss, and let us not forget my crush Andrew. Ah, such a fine man. Ah, such a fine man. Will I recommend this movie for you to watch? Absolutely. It's dramatic, spicy. It will have you screaming at your screen, but it will give you a very entertaining watch. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I will give this movie a 8 over 10. It was a 8 over 10, even 8.5 over 10 for me. And to be honest, I can't even wait for it to drop in like streaming platforms like Netflix, Prime Video, or even YouTube, so that I can just go and rewatch it again. It was such an interesting watch. So, what do you guys think? Have you seen Love Lockdown? What do you think about the movie? Who were you rooting for? Are you team Yemi and Zainab or team Yemi and Taylor? I was team Yemi and Taylor all through. I really loved their love. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it and I was rooting for them. Let me know in the comment section who you wanted Yemi to end up with, Zainab or Taylor. If you've not watched this movie and you watched my entire video, let me know if you will still go and watch Love Lockdown. I recommend that you do support the movie. Go and watch it. It was a very interesting watch. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Ta-da!